What's up, everybody out there? I just want to talk about what happened last night, and that was the end of the divisional series in the American League, where Cliff Lee, yet again, Cliff Lee with another dominant performance in the playoffs, beats the Rays in Tampa Bay for Texas to advance for the first time ever in their history, advance in the playoff round, and they're going to advance to the LCS. Before we get to the LCS, I want to talk a little bit about the LDS and that series in particular. Very weird series where the road team won all the games in the series. What can you say? I thought the Rays were a favorite to get to the definitely to the LCS, if anything. And it's an upset that Texas did go in there and beat them, but it's not an upset what Cliff Lee did. It was a little bit over what he usually does in terms of just being dominant, because he was dominant last year during the playoffs and during the World Series. And this year he's shown that last year wasn't a fluke, and he's continuing to be on the same role. So, we're going to see how that, turns out in the LCS. Now let's move on to that. LCS is going to start, the ALCS is going to start this Friday with the New York Yankees going into Arlington, Texas to take on the Texas Rangers. Because Cliff Lee started the Game 5 against the Rays the other night, Texas is going to start off with C.J. Wilson as the Game 1 starter against the Yankees, CC Sabathia. I think the matchup so far is great for New York. You're going to have CC going at least Game 1, of course. Depending on how the series goes, he'll probably pitch, Game 4 if they're down 2-1. If there's anything else, then you're probably going to see A.J. Burnett start that game. And Game 7, if it gets to that, would probably be CC again on another 7 days rest. 3 days rest against Cliff Lee, because Cliff Lee will only start that third game in the series. For Texas to actually advance, I think it will have to be in 7. It will have to be against Cliff Lee. Cliff Lee's shown to be very dominant. Yankees couldn't beat him last year. But he is beatable, so I heard people, this morning on the radio saying they want no part of Cliff Lee when he starts Game 3 to throw A.J. Burnett out there, because if you're going to lose anyway, throw out, A.J. Burnett, who's probably going to give up a clunker of a game. I feel like if you're a defending World Series champion, you can't do that. You can't just admit defeat like that. So the Yankees, they already named their Game 2 starter, which would be Phil Hughes, and their Game 3 starter to go against Lee would be Andy Pettitte, which I think is a good choice. Pettitte, has how many playoff career wins, has 5 rings under his belt, and if it happens to go to a 7th game, you'd rather see the experience and the grit and guts of Andy Pettitte over Phil Hughes. And Phil Hughes also pitched well in Texas, so it makes sense that he would pitch Game 2 and possibly Game 6 if it gets to there. My prediction on that series, I'm going to say Yankees in 5. I like Texas. I like their lineup. Their pitching is a little I don't trust their bullpen. I don't think Ron Washington trusts them either. Because in that Game 5, when Cliff Lee was struggling a little bit, you saw C.J. Wilson starting to warm up. You had Darren O'Day there, but who else in the bullpen you're going to go to for Texas besides Phil Lee, their closer? So we'll see what happens. And for the NLCS is going to be the Philadelphia Phillies hosting the San Francisco Giants. I think everybody or every critic, every expert out there is going for the Phillies, and rightfully so. Phillies have been to the last 2 World Series, won the World Series 2 years ago. They seem to be, or they are, the odds-on favorite, especially with their 3-headed monster known as H2O, with Halladay, Oswalt, and Hamels. It's going to be a tough matchup for the San Francisco Giants, but the San Francisco Giants have 3 awesome stars of their own, and Tim Lincecum, 2-time defending Cy Young Award winner. Matt Cain has just been a monster over the last month and into the playoffs. And Jonathan Sanchez, which can be a little, could be a little iffy. He can walk the ballpark sometimes, but he pitched awesome in that Game 3 in Atlanta in the divisional series. So I think it's going to be a closer matchup than people think. Everyone is picking the Phillies, understandably, because even if both staffs have, equal talent in terms of pitching, Phillies obviously have a better lineup than the Giants. The Giants are led by their rookie Buster Posey, who's a catcher, and he's going to have a very tough matchup, definitely in the first 3 games. We'll see how that goes. I'm going to choose upset here. I'm going to go with the Giants. No one is picking the Giants. The Giants are young and up and coming. They don't have the best lineup in the world, but they're going to have pitching that's going to keep them in the game. And I'm going for upset, so I'm going to say the Giants in 6. Because if it goes 7, I don't think they'll be able to win it. But I'm going to definitely say Giants in 6. We'll see how that turns out. That's it for now. Basically, I'm talk a lot about baseball in the next few days just because we're deep into the playoffs, and the championship series is the most interesting topic. But I hope to come up to talk about more topics in terms of football and basketball. But I'm going to wait till those situations come up, and then I'll definitely talk about it. But until then, everybody enjoy the series, and I'll give you a periodical updates of what I think. All right, take care. See you later.